Hello, everybody. I'm Sherry Shriner, and you're live with Sherry Shriner, and it's Monday night, June 25th. Make sure this is on. Oh, it's been a week. Hope all of you have been safe throughout the week and getting busy what the Lord needs you to do. You know, time's winding down, and 2007 going to be a preparation year for some, and then quite chaotic for others. And you know, the nail's really going to hit the head in 2008, and so if you're not ready by 2008, folks, you're really going to find yourselves up a river without a paddle. And so you need to prepare, because 2008 is going to be a disastrous year. And you know, as I sit here and look at everything we've accomplished so far this year, and the year's not even halfway over, maybe by a couple of weeks, we've been able to destroy a lot of their plans, put to naught a lot of their weapons, send to flight a lot of their aliens and underground bases. We've just been busy, and I'm not just a talker, I'm a doer, and you know, basically more of a doer than a talker, because I don't talk about half the things I do, and I can't do that, because otherwise it just tips off the enemy as to what we're doing. You know, things going on behind the scenes. And there's really not that many of the Lord's warriors who will stand up at any one time to get things done. You know, it's always a handful of people. And that's the way the Lord's always been. Always through the obedience and faith of just one or two people has He been able to accomplish everything He has accomplished in the world today. Tonight I want to talk about a couple things the Lord has led me to. And the attacks are on, you know, I don't know how they do it, but they've got some way where they can target in on your DNA signature, and that's how they can blast you with their tech weapons. And so, just under extreme heat attack right now. They don't want me talking about tonight what I'm going to be talking about. You can feel the love. And it makes me all the more determined. Maybe I'll put up another website, you know, every time they've done this to me, every time over the 8 years that I've been under extreme attack for one reason or another, I just put up a website, and basically in defiance, you know, they can't stop me, and they won't shut me up, and they want to tick me off, I'll talk all the more, and that's just the way it's always been. And for those of you who need some encouragement and uplifting, go to warfaresaint.com. You know, I put a warfare prayer and poem up there. One of the first websites I ever put up, and it was just something I wanted to do for the Lord. And you know what? I go back there every once in a while and I read that the soldier's poem, and it always gives me a lot of strength. And so I know it's a time where a lot of people have been under attack. A lot of strange things going on. For a lot of you, you don't understand what's going on. And so get some strength from the Lord. Just renew your strength in Him. Sometimes we just have to sit at His feet until He stands us back up. Because we just get tired, we get exhausted. You know, it's always a constant fight, it's always a constant battle. And it takes a thick skin to withstand everything. And you know, I just give all that glory to the Lord, because He's always just stood me up and given me a thick skin and to ignore a lot of things going on. And march ahead for Him, regardless of what's going on around me. And so I give that praise to the Lord, you know, and He'll do that for you too, you know. One of the biggest messages, I've been on the air for 2 or 3 years now, is for people to build their own relationships with the Lord, you know. The churches won't teach you how to do that. You sit in the pulpits week after week after week, and you give your money, and you're hoping that tenfold return's going to come back to you, and you sit there and you suck in all the hogwash of religious mind control. And folks, it's not that way. You're building a relationship with a building made of hands in that way. And your churches are made of hands, and your pastors are nothing but mere examples and reflections of their own teachers. Not led by God, not taught by God, but led by man in the seminaries. And so, you know, one of the things I don't teach is just how to build a one-on-one relationship with the Lord. And I do that with my articles. You need to read Kingdom of God and some of the other articles that I have, because everybody's relationship with the Lord is a personal one-on-one thing. And no two people have a signature that write the same. And that's how you are with your relationships with the Lord. No two people have this exact same relationship with the Lord. And it starts with just learning how to talk to Him and making Him a focus and priority of your life every day, and learning how to hear His small voice in your spirit. When you do all the talking, stop talking and just listen. I know so many people say, this is just a one-sided relationship. I'm always the one doing the talking. That's because you're not listening. You need to learn how to listen, and you'll hear His little small voice in your spirit. And, I get these emails from people. We ask God this because obviously He talks to you and not to me and blah, blah, blah. And I just want to take those emails and hit them over the head with these people. He has stood me up to be a mouthpiece for Him. For there's nothing special about me where I can hear the Lord where nobody else can. Because from the people that have been listening to me over the years and have built their own relationships with the Lord, they are all hearing Him now. They all hear from Him. They've all learned to recognize His voice in their spirits. And so it's not just one thing that one person has. It's something that you have to learn to develop. It's something that you just, through patience and time, and asking the Lord to reveal Himself to you and to teach you, learn how to hear His voice, that you can hear it. So it just takes time for relationship building. And what this shows me is that just a lot of people so busy with their own daily lives that they don't have the time to just sit and hear from the Lord and build a relationship with Him. So you need to take the time, folks, because there's nothing else in this world that matters other than being able to hear Him. And He doesn't speak to your head, He speaks to your heart. Something that I was just telling my son the other day, that there was nothing else more important in the world than being able to listen and hear the Lord's voice. And it goes true for everybody. We're going to talk tonight about Nimrod. And this was really interesting because a friend of mine, someone who I could haggle with over scriptures and ideas and things and theories, has written a book, and I put it on my website at SherryTalkRadio.com. It's free download. It's a PDF file. If you have Microsoft Word, you can read it. I may put it up on a website page for those who can't access Microsoft Word, and for some reason, sometimes it'll come up on the website, and other times it won't. But he wrote a book on the spirit of Jezebel and the mystery of iniquity. And it was something that the Lord had also led me to, was the whole Nimrod thing. And of course, you'll find him in his book. He'll talk about Nimrod as he talks about the spirit of Jezebel and the mystery of iniquity and a couple of other things that he exposes. It's one of the best books I've read in quite a while. And so I have that you can read it for free on my website, SherryTalkRadio.com. It's on the left-hand side. And so I encourage you to read that. Tonight I want to talk about this Nimrod, because Nimrod was the first Antichrist on the earth. And so he was a prototype of the one that is to come. And so, the Lord always said that the last days would be as in the days of Noah. And so if you don't understand the days of Noah, how are you going to understand the last days? And that's one thing the churches should keep you in the dark about. And the esoteric sciences will put it in their secret societies and their cults, and they have all this info, and sometimes you can catch things in their writings. But there's a lot of correlations from the early days, because there's nothing new under the sun, folks. Nothing new going to happen in these last days. It hasn't happened already because Satan has perfected his plans and his way of implementing things over time. And he's used various people and various events during the last several thousand years to perfect his ultimate final plan, and that is to come to earth and rule the earth as the Antichrist. And so I want to talk about this tonight. And I want to talk about this Nimrod because he was the first god king on earth. I don't know if you saw the movie 300, but that was a good movie in the fact that it kind of shows you how things were back then. We always just get from our church view a very limited world view of how things really were back in the olden days. And so when some of the truth starts to sprinkle out, and you start to see things as they really were, it's really very kind of interesting. Certainly glad I was born in this day and age and one of the future, the earlier ones. The book of Genesis lists Nimrod as a grandson of Ham, the third son of Noah, and he's